Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Isn't that sweet when they unmask themselves and when they really show their true faces and their true allegiance to certain interests and countries? That's great. And they take a shit on the so-called values that they seem to uphold and promote. And they also lecture all of us if we don't uphold those values like democracy, freedom of speech, all this liberty, all this garbage. Okay, why is garbage? Because these are not really rights. They are temporary privileges, because a right cannot be given and taken by the guys that did not give it to you in the first place. Our rights were not given by the US government. They come from the creator, whomever that is. So you can't take something that you didn't give unless you are abusing that, which actually that's what's going on. So we have here Antony Blinken, who is American, and he is the foreign minister of the United States of America, the Secretary of State. So he is in charge of the America's foreign policy. He makes the foreign policy. In the Middle East, he makes it. Like I would make the foreign policy of the United States of America in Romania versus Hungary. So let's say tomorrow Hungary gets in a scuffle with Romania, and let's say I am the Secretary of State of the United States of America. I will be the one going over there and talk to the Hungarians and to the Romanians. What do you think I will do? Well, if I'm objective and I'm fair and honest and all that, I will be impartial and I will look only for the American interest. Fuck the other two. That's what I will do. That's my job. But since I was born in Romania, maybe I'm a little bit, I will be definitely biased as a human being, as Blinken I think he is, when he goes over there in the Middle East and he is the broker. You're not a broker, okay? Or with Zelensky Stein's countries, Ukraine, the Ukrainian nation, the Ukrainian president. Okay, he's not. So now he's very upset, Mr. Blinkenstein, that the mass media helped create a wrong narrative of what's going on in the Middle East. So let me show you the article here. Blinken blames social media for Israel's lost narrative on war in Gaza. So maybe you should care more about what really is going on there instead of controlling a narrative of something that's going on over there. So he's upset with the narrative, not with the actions. Yes, I understand there are interests. Yes, I understand there are some bad dudes everywhere. We have good and evil inside of us. We choose to act, obviously, and that's a proportion. But I think it's obvious what's going on over there in the Middle East, who's who and what's what. He is upset that is reported the way Mr. Blinken, would not like to be reported. He's upset about it. He's losing the narrative. He's losing the propaganda. Why? Because of the social media. So what would be a tyrant's move? Next move? Ban it. Make it illegal. Which they're working on a bill, if you remember, on the House of Representatives, in making you can't criticize this, it's called anti-this and anti-that, and they're going to increase this pressure. You're going to have a special protected group in the United States of America. But we're all equal, okay, in front of the law. So he's upset with the narrative. Now let me tell you a few things about how this narrative got out of control. I am for freedom of speech as much as possible. I would be against two things that, I say, well, you can say that, you can say anything you want, but there will be repercussions. Legal, we have them in law, which is making threats or promoting violence. You can hate how much you want and you can say it. I'm all for that. You can lie, but then you have the counter argument. It's not illegal to lie unless you are under oath. You can lie. Is it a good thing? No, because the truth will show that you're an asshole. And then people, by seeing that, will just avoid you. That's the way it is. So that's why I'm for a free market of exchange of ideas. debates, truth will come out based on evidence, not on feelings. Okay, ladies, not on feelings. So what do we have here? They lost the narrative, they lost the grip in 1980s, about 1990s, 80s. Why? They had the mass media, and they controlled here the mass media. They called it free mass media in the United States of America. It was never free. It was always owned by private interests, infiltrated. I know, if you know the Operation Mockingbird and all that, is that how it's called? And not only infiltrated by the intelligence services, former and current agents. Some of them are not. But the owners will not talk about them bad about themselves. So I guarantee you, if General Motors owns part of Fox News will likely not have articles, how do you call it, the programs negative of General Motors. Maybe we'll have one, and then those guys get out. And remember, Fox News is not only one channel. It has other channels that owns, like CNN and others. So they own about what? 60% of now, only now. Or you don't need more, because old people, certain generations are still watching CNN, Fox News, the regular television, not the internet, not people crazy like me. Now they lost it with, remember with Google? They lost it with that. With the internet, which was meant initially to propagandize, to communicate. That was a means of communication by the services, intelligence services. That's how it was created, for that reason. And then little by little, it became free. Like you have the, the American War of Independence, and then the Constitution. The Constitution gave so many rights, but they said only these ones you can't do. These things right here, and you have a Bill of Rights right there. Those things should not be infringed. Now, since let's say the 18th century, right? From the 18th century, after the Constitution was written, all our rights decreased and continue to decrease. Why is that? Now, look at the media. The media, right? Initially was say whatever, man. It got caught in this, 4 corporations, media corporations, right? And then it was the internet. And these guys lost the grip of the information, because CNN, the corporate media could destroy or build a politician in a second. That's how much power they had. Where did you get your information before? Radio and TV, mostly TV. How many stations were? 3, 4, big conglomerate, 3 I think they were, until they developed even about 4. But they say the same thing, it's just small variation. Then it was the internet. Remember the Napster? All right, do you remember other means? You remember YouTube, when YouTube showed up first time and so on? I remember it. I could watch things that right now are not available over there. Now the community guidelines does not allow me to watch certain things, and they're not allowed over there. They're not uploaded anymore. Why? Too harsh for me. They protect me, mommy and daddy, regarding the speech that we have here. So all these things got, again, caught by the same guys that lost control in 1980s with the emergence of the internet. And now they try to get it back. Look, our freedom on internet, it becomes lesser and lesser. You can say, well, I can do a lot of things. Yeah, but you can do in a very smaller, narrower framework. Right now, I cannot say things that I could have done. I could have said, I don't know, 17 years ago, 16 years ago on YouTube. I can't. And not only, don't give me Rumble. And Rumble again, you can't say certain things. So how many options do you have? What, Rumbles, this and 2 or 3 more, and by far YouTube has the biggest audience, by far. And it's limited like hell. And they go more and more and more. So Blinken, even with this, is upset that he lost the narrative on the events, on the actions. So he's not upset with the actions, he's upset with how the actions are interpreted. Which again, could be interpreted, in an evil way, interested way, or could be, in a right way, which is kind of like impossible, because we all have an inclination towards what? Like, hey, I like justice, freedom and non-justice. I like justice, I like truth, right? I like strength, I like wisdom, moderations here and there in certain areas, and so on. So I like this. I'm skewed towards these values, and I don't like the other values that other people might like those values. So you see, I have to be biased on my own cage of values that I have. So who says I'm objective? No, you're not. You can't be. You have to judge things based on certain rules. Therefore, it doesn't make you objective anymore. But nevertheless. So he's upset with that. And I'm going to show you not only it's like a cycle. And I'm going to show you the 8 stages of civilization. It's a cycle of civilization. It was a Scottish intellectual who came out with that. It's 8 stages. I'm going to show them to you. The same thing with media. The first one, right, 76. Oh my God, freedom, what the hell? Now I have to wear a fucking, how do you call it, seatbelt when I drive a car? I have to wear a helmet when I ride the bike? Government, get the fuck out of my life with that. That's not for you or anybody else to tell me how I can harm myself by riding a bike without a helmet or elbow pads or pussy pads or whatever you might have, or knee pads, or who the hell these guys are, whatever these guys are coming with all these limitations and limitations and limitations. That how they started and where we got. There's going to be another, situation where we're going to gain that again. According to this Alexander Fresser Tytler, here it is. And I'm going to show you the cycle of civilization, the 8 points. So this is a Scottish, as far as I remember, all right, a Scottish advocate, judge, writer, and historian who was a professor at of Universal History and of Greek and Roman antiquities at the University of Edinburgh. So, so here is graphical representation of Tytler's cycle. So bondage is the first one. And then he says, next one, faith, search of unity. The first one is people oppose the conditions. Bondage, they oppose it, and then it's faith, search for unity, deep moral gatherings. People fight for freedom, courage, liberty, prosperity, and freedom achieved. This is where we were, 76. Abundance, focus turns to material things. Selfishness turns into selfishness. It's all about me and my stuff. Then he goes to complacency, entitlement, and self-absorption. I can identify as this, it's about me, oy vey, look at me. And it turns into apathy, personality, responsibility lost, it's not my fault, and I'm not going to go and vote. And that's exactly what these guys want. And then freedom, centralized, independence, controlled, goes to dependence, point of no return, government achieves complete control. When you have, you can see this one on this one as well, and something like this. You can look in our society, on any society, and see where the societies, where are they in this cycle of civilization. We are almost at the 23rd hour of the day. We are almost at the dependence, where the government gives us work, where we have a governmental workers, the bureaucrats. The biggest employer in the United States of America is the government. But this is a capitalist country. Well, I mean, we need, we need to take care of, social, how do you call it? Not social workers. You know what I mean? Servants, social servants. I don't call them. Anyway, that we need them, but not in that point, to the point where we are going to be dependent on them like that. And they're pushing it. They want to make the news owned by the same. Look at this. You have the big business. Big business owns the media. They are the shareholders. And then they promote what? Whatever their interest they have. And then they make campaign donations to whom? To the politicians. And then in the system, remember, these guys did not start yesterday or 10 years ago or 20 years ago. These guys started tens of years back. And since I'm talking about the mass media and the entertainment business, the Hollywood, okay? These guys promoted certain values and destroyed a society. Promoting, oh, how great the hippies were. No, hippies were not great. Hippies were not great. I used to like Jim Morrison, and Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix. But that's about it, how they played, how they sang. That's all I liked. Not their ideas. They were nasty. Didn't even brush their teeth. Morrison did not wear socks and underwear. He was stinky. He was a infantile. He was like a child that doesn't even know the ABC. Oh yeah, he wrote those poems. Okay, American Prayer. Yeah, well, that's great. You sang very nice. But other than that, what do you mean? Okay, so don't start me with that one. That was just a destroying. They tried some interest. They used these guys. They tried to destroy the status quo of a society. I'm not saying things cannot change here and there and tweak, make them better, but I don't think that was good. Sexual liberation. Like, what do you mean? STDs and fuck and have children and what that? Anyway, you can't build a society like that. Now, it had some positives, but I think overall it was just used against the status quo of our society. So let me show you something else. And this expression has been, or quote, has been used a lot on Facebook and not only. And it's very, very true. Here it is. Yeah, okay, that's not the one because it just jumped to something else. Sometimes when you leave a page and you come back, it just comes something, click on that, give me that, fuck off. Anyway, hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. End quote. I totally agree with that. It's logical, very beautifully put over there. So hard times create strong, and you can put that together with this, right? With this one. That is very much correlated or together with this one. Hard times create strong men create good times create pussy men, and pussy men create fucked up situations and life. And then here we go again, a cycle. So again, Blinken is upset that the narrative is wrong, is losing the narrative. A lot of people that are pushing this narrative that Mr. Blinkenstein doesn't like are the same guys that he agreed with, I'm guaranteeing you, when there was the other mostly peaceful protest in the United States of America. They just changed a hat. And unfortunately, they fed the intellectuals in the United States of America, the professors and the mass media and the entertainment industry. They fed a monster, and now the monster is out in the open and devours these guys. Why? It's an ideology of resentment, of victimhood. That's what it is. And then they turn around and say, wait a minute now. And you can't say, well, anti-this. No, you're anti-this. Oy vey, the 1940s, all those things don't work anymore. Because those are special cases and you gave them a worldview of victimhood. So worldview of victimhood is not going to look only at that particular thing in 1940s or this particular thing in the 1800s, or no. If they look right now at this one and say, this is another particular case, like the other ones, but overall is victimhood. That's what they see. And besides, they're not very educated. They're educated with diplomas, but not with knowledge. That's the problem. Another thing with hard times create strong men and so on. They have diplomas, but they're empty heads. And I think that's it. I can go on and on and on. And little by little, I will say what I have to say, using euphemisms, unfortunately, and giving you hints and little things and all that, because we live in hard times nowadays. You know, telling the truth in this kind of society is a revolutionary act. Remember George Orwell's 1984 novel? That's exactly what it is. Don't be neutral. Be an actor. Be the man in the arena or the woman in the arena. Remember Teddy Roosevelt's one of his speeches, the man in the arena? I urge you go and listen to that. It's on YouTube instead of reading it. The man in the arena. That's very moving. Everybody criticizes everybody, but they're not involved. They're on the sidelines. But they all, I don't know, but the man or the person who's really dusty and bloody and tired and sweaty and all that is over there, and everybody's criticizing him. But you're not even there. Not even there. You might fall, you might lose, but then you get up and you fight again. But these guys are, what are they going to do? Losers forever. Don't associate yourself. All right, don't associate yourself with losers. Be a winner. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.